Hey guys, welcome back to the DrCliffAuD vlog. This is vlog number 14. And I decided to record this out of my new YouTube studio that I'm actually in the middle of setting up right now. And I didn't go out to the new clinic location, pretty much because there's not a whole lot going on out there right now. And there's a reason for that, and I'll explain that to you here in a few minutes. But basically, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Payroll Protection Program, which I applied for this past week. I think it went active Friday, and so me and my wife Ashley spent a few hours to get all of that information sent off to our bank. We have a pretty small local bank that we bank with, so we have a contact from there, and actually it's the same bank that we're using to get our loan for our new clinic location. That being said, the Payment Protection Program is essentially designed to be able to keep our employees paid, basically allowing us to make payroll. And so what we basically submit over the course of this time period is a whole year's worth of our payrolls that we've been paying out. And that way they know how much we've been paying our employees, and then they give us 2.5 times the monthly average payroll. And then, of course, we can use that money to pay our staff. We can use it to pay rent, utilities, any other overhead expenses inside of the clinic. And then, basically allowing us to stay in business to some degree, even though we're not really seeing a whole lot of patients. We're doing some drop-off service, and we're doing some remote care or telehealth type stuff at the clinic as well. And then, to be honest though, none of the rent or utilities is covered through that. So what we're gonna end up doing is the portion that would be my paycheck and Ashley's paycheck from the clinic will go into paying the overhead expenses, and then our staff at least will be able to get their regular pay. Now that being said, they are still working, so they deserve their pay. I plan on keeping the clinic open for that drop-off service and for remote care and all of that for the foreseeable future, unless we're forced to basically not go into the clinic anymore. And I would just say that it's relatively fortunate. Me and my wife, we have subscribed to the whole mentality like Dave Ramsey, financial guru, and Susie Orman, who basically, when we first got married back in 2008, we started absorbing their content of how to handle our finances. And fortunately, we're in a situation where we've saved up about a year's worth of our living expenses as an emergency fund, just in case something bad were to happen, and that something bad is right now. So it's totally okay for us to use my regular paycheck of what I would be earning and just putting that back into the expenses of the clinic. So as long as this doesn't go on for longer than a year, then we will ultimately be okay. But I still don't know when we're going to get the money from the government in order to pay staff. So as of right now, that's just coming out of savings, and we'll see ultimately what happens with that. But the situation could definitely be worse. I find ourselves to be rather fortunate. I mean, the government did not have to bail us out to any degree, and they chose to do so. Yes, the program probably isn't perfect, and yes, it is taking a lot longer than what we would have expected, and there was definitely more red tape than we would have expected, but at the end of the day, we're going to be okay. That kind of leads us to the next thing, and actually this week, and I apologize if I'm talking a little bit weird, but I got 2 wisdom teeth taken out on this side this past Wednesday. Still pretty sore, still recovering from that. But actually on that day that I got my wisdom teeth taken out, we met with our general contractor at the clinic to kind of discuss the layout, the size of the rooms. Of course, the video that I had posted last week, I had mentioned that we were trying to make do with the room sizes, maybe take away from the hallway, expand out the rooms a little bit. And there were a lot of insurance agents, contractors, architects who watched the channel, and they sent me either emails or left comments on the channel and basically said that, Cliff, you don't want to settle and you really should go back to the drawing board and make sure that everything is laid out exactly the way that you want it. So I decided that they were right. I had talked about it with Ashley, and we met with our general contractor at the clinic on Wednesday. Was pretty much still bleeding from my gums, but basically explained to her that, you know, we need to go back to the drawing board. We need to have the layout redone, making sure that the rooms are the right sizes, take away from the appropriate areas if we need to, which we will need to, and then start over at square one, which means that, you know, electrical will have to get moved, walls will have to get moved, plumbing will have to get moved, HVAC will have to get moved, sprinkler systems, all of that. So it's a huge deal. And, you know, our general contractor said, well, they can't afford to do that. And I totally get that. I mean, I wouldn't expect them to, but that's what insurance is for. You know, general liability insurance for contractors is if mistakes are made, the insurance is there to cover those mistakes. And while it does totally suck that you would have to use the insurance to make up for that simple mistake of the rooms not being the right size, you know, it's the same thing in my industry. I mean, I honestly thought when my first year out of school, I had gotten some impression material stuck inside of a patient's ear canal and could not get it out. And that patient had to go through surgery to get that impression material taken out of her ear. And I thought for sure that I was going to get sued for malpractice. And you know what? To be honest with you, if they would have sued me, I would have not been surprised, and I would not have fought it to any degree, because I made a mistake. And that's what happens when you make a mistake. Hopefully no one gets hurt in that mistake, but that's what the insurance is there for. And so if we have to go that route and have the contractor, the architect, the whoever the subs were who made mistakes as well, if they have to have their insurance basically pay for the mistakes that had happened, then so be it. But I don't want to go into my clinic every day for the next 30 years and being upset every single time I have to go sit inside of rooms that were not done to the correct specifications. It's just not worth it at the end of the day. So what's going to happen is they're going to get in touch with their insurance companies. I will probably get in touch with the lawyer just to make sure that, you know, the way that we're going about this is the right way to go about it. And this is probably going to get delayed. Indefinitely to some degree. I mean, we were planning on moving into the new space around May 15th or so, and that for sure is not going to happen. That's going to get pushed off. I would expect, you know, if things continue to keep moving along with this, I'm hoping that, you know, sometime in the fall we'll be able to move in, maybe end of summer, you know, early fall, that we would be able to move into the new clinic. So for the time being, we have a great clinic location to go and work at. I'm happy with the space. Obviously, it's a little further outside of the Phoenix area, which is where most of my patients are. But you know, that means that each one of my patients will probably have 1 or 2 more visits inside of the old location before they can migrate to the new location. But so, I mean, that's really the update as of this point. We're going to keep the clinic open. We're going to push forward with having the whole clinic, the new clinic, completely redesigned. And we'll see ultimately how that goes. If there's something interesting at the clinic, I will absolutely take the camera into the clinic and kind of show what's going on. But for the next couple of vlogs, there's a high probability that I'll just be recording this here in my home studio. So guys, thanks for tuning in. If you want to check out the other vlogs, make sure that you go to my YouTube channel, DrCliffAuD. You can check them out there, and I'll see you next week.